women, support, a few friends. If I didn't have them around me, how different my life would be.
So anyway, I'm going to be live streaming today for the first time, live streaming on my channel. I'm going to be looking at Amber Heard's expected testimony today. So go to my YouTube channel. I'll be live streaming all morning, all afternoon. One of the things that I want to make sure gets a lot of attention, especially now that there are a number of people who are just now coming to this case, who are fresh to it and don't know much about it, have not been keeping up with it for years like some of us have, is the fact that Amber Heard was arrested in 2009 for domestic violence. She punched TASYA VAN REE, the woman that Johnny Depp referred to as her wife. But she punched this woman that she was with for several years. She punched her in the arm in an airport, and it was a serious enough altercation that she was arrested. Now, the charges were dropped. It was a sort of a logistical thing. Amber did not live there. She was out of state, and so the DA didn't want to deal with it. There's actually audio of the court hearing where these charges were dropped. You can hear Amber at the very end, a very meek little voice.
State of Washington versus Amber Van Ree, cause number CPS 013529. Stephanie Sada on behalf of the state. Ms. Van Ree is present in custody with counsel, and I didn't catch your name.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Michelle Shaw, and I apologize. I walked out of the courtroom, Your Honor.
The state is declining to file charges at this time.
Because you're in California, it wouldn't provide you any relief from the DV designation for Livermore.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any questions about that?
No, Your Honor.
Free to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And thanks to Rob's Rules for that audio. Go check out Rob's Rules channel. He has done just great Johnny Depp coverage for a long time now and has great live streams. I've been on his show before. But anyway, so this is a big deal. And when this did come to light several years ago, when Amber accused Johnny Depp of domestic violence and this altercation that she'd had with her girlfriend / wife came out, Amber denied it and had TASYA make a statement in which TASYA claimed that it was no big deal and that the arresting officer was homophobic. Well, except it turns out that the arresting officer was actually gay, was a lesbian. And so, that was bullshit. So anyway, I just think it's important that everybody understands that there's only one person between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. There's only one person with a record of domestic violence. There's only one person who's been arrested for domestic violence and who people have seen abusing someone else. And that's Amber Heard. And I actually talked about TASYA some in an hour-long video that I did a year ago on Amber Heard's Friends. It's one of people's favorites. It's still up on my YouTube channel. But here's just a brief excerpt where I talked about TASYA, and you get a bit more insight into her character and her relationship with Amber, I think. Now, TASYA is an artist, and she actually considered Amber to be her primary muse when they were together. And in fact, she did a number of photographs and even some music videos about Amber.
She said I want to
they had this relationship that went beyond mere artistic collaboration and beyond romantic love. It was a kind of a transcendent fusion of the two. Okay.
What's up, Amber? How you doing?
How are you?
Good, good. We're all excited about this, the Playboy Club show. You know,
Me too.
It looks pretty exciting. Is it pretty racy or what?
I don't think it's that racy. I mean, it says some fishnets, but
It's what channel is it going to be on? So
it's going to be on NBC. Watch it.
Music, I think it's universal and it taps into everything creative. Yeah, it's part of a Pablo Neruda poem. It says, "I love you because I know no other way to love." Bow and arrow with the serpent. Love till you bleed. You know, girls' names.
Now, I think it's very interesting the way, and I'm not saying it was done intentionally in the way this film was cut, but it's interesting how she talks about, she has this tattoo, it says "love till you bleed," so it's a very sort of, it's a kind of a symbol of the painful aspect of love and the destructive and self-destructive aspect of a bad relationship, and then she mentions Amber. I'm not saying she's doing that on purpose or trying to make a point, but it's just kind of ironic. Now, I did some sleuthing online, and I found that there's this TASYA VAN REE fan site, and it was talking about like different aspects of TASYA's relationship with Amber and so on and so forth. But anyway, it says that according to this site, it says that TASYA had the Amber tattoo removed, that she no longer has it anymore, which is interesting. And then it also posted an excerpt of TASYA's art. I don't know if this is a song or a poem or something that TASYA had published or made available in a documentary or something like that. And of course, this is nothing conclusive, but this TASYA fan site speculates that that TASYA wrote this after her breakup with Amber, that in fact this was about Amber, simply because it does seem to express what people feel at the end of a toxic relationship with someone who has a personality disorder. They feel at the end like they never really knew that person. If you've listened to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard audio tapes, you know there's a point in one of them where he says to her, and he doesn't say it angrily, he says it with sadness, he says, "You know what? You are not there. You don't exist. You were just a thing I dreamed up in my head." And that is often, those of you who've been in toxic relationships with people with personality disorders, and if you don't know what I mean by personality disorders, look it up. But if you have with someone who's narcissistic or sociopathic or one of the others, then you know that is one of the struggles, is trying to figure out who the real person is there. Is there a real person? Of course, some philosophers argue that we don't have a central core self, and I get that. But let's just say that people with personality disorders, for them, that is much more extreme than for the normal person. For the normal person, there is some general sense of stability. People with personality disorders, there is the false exterior self, like with narcissism and sociopathy, that's very different from and masking a kind of emptiness at the core. And so on. Okay, so that's interesting. She says, "How do you move on from something that never happened? I don't know. I don't know." You know, as if to say, like, I thought that this person loved me. I thought this person was genuine, and now I don't have them anymore. She dumped me. I'm trying to move on, and I realize now that just like what Johnny Depp said, that this person was never really there. It wasn't real. So that's interesting. And as always, I appreciate your tips or donations. My PayPal, Patreon links are below. And also, I have a new thanks button on YouTube right below this video.